Hello, my name is Kogara Surendra Reddy. I have 14 plus years corporate experience and I have 5 plus years training experience. I am a certified trainer. I am going to teach you Microsoft Excel today. So what we are going to cover basics and advanced. First, let us get into the basics and introduction of the MS Excel. So what is MS Excel? So it's a Microsoft uh, tool, okay, that allows users to organize, format and calculate data with using various formulas and charts in the spreadsheets. So objective of this course, so we are going to understand how spreadsheets works in a MS Excel, then learn the parts of the Excel window. We are going to learn what are all the various parts of MS Excel window and scroll through a worksheet and navigation between worksheets. So how can we navigate between worksheets and multiple workbooks? Create and save a workbook. So how can we create a new workbook and how can we save it and all those we are going to learn. And how can we enter data into the worksheets or spreadsheets, text, numbers, date format, and graphics, pictures, images, all how can we enter, we are going to learn. And how can we add, delete rows and columns using shortcut keys, and select and move cell ranges. How can we move cell ranges? Insert formulas and functions. So how can we use formulas and functions to customize our data based on our requirement? Then how can we insert, delete, move and rename worksheets? We are going to learn and work with various editing tools and preview and print the workbook. So these are all the objects of outcome of this course. So let us get into the business use case of MS Excel. So where do we use MS Excel mainly? So that can be for data entry, and if you wanted to perform any calculations, yes, we use MS Excel. And if you wanted to interpretation and analysis of data, we can use MS Excel. And visualization and reporting, yes, if you wanted to put your data into the visualizing format and if you wanted to create the reports, various reports using the large data, yes, we use the MS Excel. And budgeting and accounting, yes, we use mainly for budgeting and accounting as well. And schedule and calendar, so for example, if you wanted to schedule a interviews for multiple candidates with multiple dates and multiple slot timings, yes, we can use MS Excel and update everything. And automating repetitive tasks, automating repetitive tasks with macros. So how we can record repetitive steps in MS Excel, so to save lot of time instead of doing it manually every time, yes, we use the MS Excel for that as well. And forecasting, when you have some data for the past and current year, if you wanted to forecast based on the past data, yes, we can use MS Excel for that as well. Next, vocabulary while working on MS Excel. This is the vocabulary which we would be using very oftenly. That is column, row, active cell, active worksheet, cell reference, formula bar, range reference, spreadsheet, and workbook. So here you may ask me what is the difference between spreadsheet and workbook. So spreadsheet means, so within the workbook we will have a multiple spreadsheets. So if you say workbook is a book, in the within the book we'll have a multiple pages, right? So similar way, workbook is nothing but a Excel file. So within the file we'll have a multiple sheets. Then what is column? So the column D has been highlighted, which is vertical. Then what is row? Row number 4 has been highlighted, which is horizontal. So all the columns will be named as alphabets. If you see ABCDs, and all the rows will be named as numericals, that is 1, 2, 3. And what is a cell? It is a combination of column and row. So here C2 has been highlighted, that is cell 2. So each and every cell have a address. So address means each and first it will be referred with column, then it will be referred with row number. Then, as I said, what is the difference between workbook and worksheet? So a workbook contains one or more worksheets. A worksheet also known as a spreadsheet. So in a workbook, we'll have a multiple spreadsheets or worksheets. So which we use it for entering data, calculating data, analyzing data, organizing data into the columns and rows. A worksheet is always stored in a workbook. Yes, as I said, so multiple pages will have in book. Similar way, multiple worksheets will have in workbook. So workbook is an Excel file that contains many spreadsheets, and spreadsheet is also known as worksheet. So it is the collection of pages which graded by row and columns. The default worksheet in a new book are 3. So whenever you create a new workbook, by default you will have a 3 spreadsheets or worksheets. Then let us get into the different parts of MS Excel window. So if we see here, we have quick access toolbar which we can customize based on our requirement, and we have the ribbon buttons. So ribbon buttons are nothing but home, insert, page layout, formulas, data, review, view. So these we call them as a ribbon buttons. And we have command buttons as well. So within the ribbon buttons we call as a commands, it's like bold, italic, underscore. Then we have a name box. So as I said, each and every cell have a address, right? So here if you see, A1 is the active cell. And formula bar, so here you could see if there are any formula in that particular cell, that we call it as a formula bar. Then we have columns. So as I said, all the columns will be named as alphabets. And we have rows as well here. So all the rows will be named as serial number 1, 2, 3. And we have worksheets here, and we have scroll bars, vertical scroll bar and horizontal scroll bar. And we have worksheet view options and zoom control. So these are the main parts of the MS Excel window. Next, Microsoft Excel window components overview. So we will go one by one. So there are various options, as I said, file button, quick access toolbar, title bar, ribbon tabs. Anyway, I'll get into the uh, Excel file and I'll show you what are all the options available under each and every button. So if we take file button, so there are commonly available options under file button. How to create a new workbook, creating new workbook, open, save, print, recent workbook settings, etc. available. And quick access toolbar, so this is something customizable toolbar at the top of an active workbook that keeps those options that we use frequently. Title bar, so this is a horizontal bar displayed at the top of application window. This bar displays the name of the active workbook. So minimize, restore and close buttons are appeared at the right end of the title bar. And ribbon tabs, so the area over the ribbon that contains multiple tabs which are organized in groups. The default tabs in home and other are insert, page layout, formulas, data, review and view options. So these are the default ribbon tabs available in your MS Excel window. And we also have name box. As I said, each and every cell have address. So the name box displays the name or address of the active cell. So it is located left side of the formula bar. So which I showed you. So anyway, I am going to show you once again. And we have status bar as well, and we have view toolbar, zoom buttons, and formula bar. Then we have some workbook and spreadsheet limitations. So workbooks, how many workbooks you can create, that is depends on your memory of the laptop or share drive. And sheets in a workbook, that is again depends on your memory. And column width, in a column, how many letters or characters you can insert in a column, that is sorry, how many points you can increase column width, that is 255. And row height, 409 points you can increase the row height. And total number of characters in a cell, how many letters you can enter, which includes space and special characters, that is 32,762. And undo levels 100, zoom range 10% to 4% you can minimize and maximize, zoom out and zoom in. Then characters in header or footer, so we can add 255 letters in a header or footer. Maximum number of line feed per cell, that is 253. And how to improve Microsoft Excel skills. So how can we improve Microsoft Excel skills? So one is going through the various learnings and practicing it, and practicing shortcut keys mainly. So don't use mouse. So I am going to teach you how you can learn shortcut keys very simply by yourself. So Excel is the main part of Microsoft Office suite, which is used for sorting the data and performing financial analysis. So this is a software program uses spreadsheets that can automatically input, calculate, and analyze data, which makes it valuable skill for workplaces. The way in which the employees can upgrade their skills of using MS Excel are: 1. Use the shortcut keys to perform the required functions, and you can save a lot of time if you learn the shortcut keys and start using them. Then use the formulas, where you can analyze your data using the various formulas and functions if to get the desired output which you are looking for, instead of doing it manually. And use table formatting tools to gather and present the data in a systematic order. And creating time series forecasting to analyze seasonal trends and predict values for the future. So this is how you can enhance your Microsoft Excel skills while working on it. And career benefits of learning MS Excel: yes, increase your efficiency and productivity while working on MS Excel. Then intensifies your skill set. Yes. Next, develops your skill at organizing data. So when you have your data in MS Excel, if we are doing it some traditional way or manually, if you learn MS Excel, you can organize your data quickly and very well. The next is it enables you to effectively use an asset you have already acquired. Fifth point, makes you a more worthy member of the company. For example, if there are 100 people in a company who are doing majority work manually, if you learn MS Excel, you will be the worthy member of the company, and makes your job easier. Obviously, that is the whole intention behind learning MS Excel. Obviously, your job will become easier. Then it creates a higher efficiency and increases productivity. So, for example, if we are doing some particular task in an hour, if you learn some shortcut keys and some formulas and functions, the same work can be done in 10 to 15 minutes. So, it allows you to grow your experience with little expense and effort. Yes, obviously, Next, business productivity with MS Excel. So Microsoft Excel is the spreadsheet of options that are several successful businesses utilize for a wide variety of purposes. Some of the common business utilizations of MS Excel are managing human resources, business analysis, operations management, performance reporting, etc. So Microsoft Excel helps businesses in increasing their productivity by so employees can save time and effort and reduce the errors and chances of omission, extending your business intelligence investment. And worksheet navigation keys, when you are in a workbook, if you wanted to move from one cell to another cell, you can use the arrow keys, that is left arrow key, right arrow key, up and down. Then if you wanted to get into the home, then to a in the current row, control plus home, that will take you to the a1 cell, control plus end, that will take you to the that where that data contains in the last cell, and enter, always it will go down, that is the default setting. However, if you want, we can change it as well. Shift plus enter, up one row, tab one column to the right, shift tab one column to the left. If you wanted to move from current cell to left cell, shift plus tab, and page up and page down, if you wanted to go page up and page down, you can use and control page up and page down within the workbook if you wanted to move from one worksheet to another worksheet. So this is the basic presentation I have it on MS Excel introduction. So let me get into the MS Excel. So we are going to cover what are all the options available under file button, home ribbon, insert, page layout, formula bar, formulas, various formulas, data, under what are all the options available under data, and what are all the commands available under review, view, develop, all those we are going to learn. So the content which we are going to cover, the introduction which we are currently learning, then navigations, basic navigations. Okay, so before that, how to open MS Excel. So there are various ways to open MS Excel. One, you can type here as Excel. If you enter it, your new workbook will be created. Okay, then if you are in a folder, if you wanted to create a new workbook, just select here. There is an option called Microsoft Excel. So some people say I'm here, how can we select without using mouse? There is an option between Alt and Control key called right click key. So you can come here, there are letters have been highlighted with and underline. Just click on W. Now I can use the arrow keys. I want Microsoft Excel. Just enter. This is how I can create Microsoft new workbook. So when I'm already in the workbook, so how can we create a new workbook? The shortcut key to create a new workbook, that is Control plus N. If I click on Control plus N, it is going to create a new workbook. Anyway, I am going to share my shortcut keys which can enhance your productivity while working on MS Excel. So these are all the shortcut keys we have. I am going to upload under description. So let me close the other workbooks which I don't need. Now let us quickly get into the file. So under file, which are all the options available? So if you see here, there are various options available. So by default, we have a new workbook. When you want to create a new workbook, yes, you can click on it. It will be created new workbook. Now, if you want to get into the new option, yes, we have a blank workbook which is also available under home button. However, there are built-in templates available in Microsoft. So how can we download them and how can we start using for our requirement? I'll show you. So there is a option called Office. If you just click on Office, anyway, these I have created for my other trainings. Let me remove this. So how can we remove all these templates? This is how you can remove it. Okay, now here if you see under Office, search for online templates. So if you wanted to search for online templates, you should be connected to the internet, and then only you will get this option and then you can search for online templates. So what is the benefit of downloading online templates? So online templates kind of format you will have it which you are looking for similar to that, but you can customize putting your own data to save lot of time on creating new templates. So whenever I click here Office, so there are various options. Take a tour, formulas, pivot tables. So if I click on here, welcome to MS Excel, how MS Excel you can navigate, move, there are various options. Let me show you this as well. So I'm going to, yeah, I got the MS Excel take a tour we have, right? So if I click on let us go, it is showing me how you can add some formula, some functions. It's again some basics. Anyway, we are going to cover all this. If you wanted to practice, yes, this is really helpful for you to download and practice it. Let me close it. Here we have various options. How can we transpose, scroll, filter, tables, drop down? There are various options, right? Learn more about pivot tables. Anyway, we are going to cover how all this with real-time data. Get into the open. We also have formula tutorial and pivot table tutorial. So next, here we have suggested such as business case. If you wanted to see what are all the templates available under business, here we have, and we also have personal, list, budget, charts and calendars. Okay, the one which you want you can use it. So let me take business. Under business we have various templates available, so you can use it. For example, you would like to use simple invoice. So here if you see, we have various templates available under business. If you want to use a simple invoice, so simple service invoice, just click on it, your template will be created. So here this is a template again. Based on your requirement, you can customize or edit the data. So if you want to create an invoice for your company, you can put your company name. So I'll say XYG Limited. Then here we have invoice. You can put today's date, and I mean whenever you want to create, you can put your company address, the whom you want to bill, you can put, and what is the customer ID, if you have any terms, and you can put service fee, all those details. When you come down, here we have a subtotal and tax rate we have. So if you wanted to put instead of tax rate, you can put GST or TDS, whatever you want. And we have a tax amount being calculated. Here we have all the formulas. Then what is the total amount of the invoice? So this is again, there is a sample format which is readily available to use it. So it's all about you can customize based on your requirement. So let me show you, there are various other templates also available. So let me get into the new option, then office. Under office we have various templates as well. So let me select budget or calendar or something. So if I select budget, so we have a personal monthly budget, weekly timesheet. So let me get into the weekly timesheet, our bill paying checklist, our watercolor, we have college budget. So we have various templates available. If you think that, okay, let me take under personal budget, so wedding budget. So if I create a template, so under wedding budget, you can put the couple name and total wedding budget, it will come here. So how will it come here? You have to put all the details. Okay, allocation, how much percentage allocation. So here we have budget details, so that is something you can put estimated amounts here. From there it will take the budget summary. So here you have a total wedding budget. On that, allocated budget is this much, so estimated cost and actual cost. So this is how you can create a wedding budget using the readily available template. However, you can customize everything based on your requirement. It is just a kind of format or template which are readily available in the Microsoft website. Let me close this. Now we learned how to create a templates from online. Now, if I am using one particular template very regularly or very oftenly, I can pin it that particular template. So whenever I open my MS Excel and go to the new tab, it will display top of my list. Next, we have an option called open. So under open, so there are various features are available. I'll show you. So obviously it will show recently opened files here. In case if you wanted to pin it your file in the top of your list, you can pin it here, and if you do not want, you can unpin it here. So what is the point in pinning any file? So for example, I am working on particular allocation tracker or some particular file very oftenly. So instead of going to the folder or cloud location or common drive or shared drive, so when I have pinned it here, I can directly open it from here. So I no need to go to folder each and every time. Next, if you wanted to search particular files, yes, you can search for the files. So whichever the files you have recently opened, you can search for it. In case if we have many more files, so you can search for it. And if you wanted to open any file from a particular folder, yes, you can directly get into that folder, you can open it. So these are the files which are already saved in your system or common drive or shared drive or cloud location which you would like to open. Next, we have option called files needing attention. If you wanted to take any attention of the files, yes, it is like where you have saved, so those you can mark it as a need attention and you can check. For example, I have multiple files, I would like to check on few things, I can mark it for my attention. Then if you wanted to review them, you can check for them. Next, shared with me. If you've received any files from various people in the Outlook, or if they directly shared with you, you can directly access those files from here. If you wanted to access any of your files from OneDrive, you can choose this. And if you wanted to open any of your files from this PC, so from your laptop or your desktop system, if you wanted to open from the specified folder, you can open it and add a place the way how I have OneDrive, that is cloud location, and SharePoint. So similar way, if you wanted to add any new place, so whenever you have access to the SharePoint or ShareDrive, if you want to add that place, once I add that place, that is how it will show, you can add it. And there is another option called browse. If you wanted to download file from your common drive or your system, or if you wanted to download from any website, you can download it using the browse option. These are the some of the options which are available under open button. Next, let us get into the info button. Under info button, there are various options available. I will show you which are all the options available one by one. I have this workbook. I would like to share this workbook with my peer group or my team members. So I can directly click here and share this workbook with people with whom I would like to share. So I can directly select here names. For example, let me take Preswell. So I can directly select his name here and share it with him. If you wanted to share it with multiple people, select multiple names and share it with him. So in case this workbook has been saved in Common Drive or SharePoint, you would like to copy that file path. So you can click here and you can copy the file path and you can share it with whomever you want. Then copy local path. So it's similar to the copy path in case if this particular file is in the your local drive. So you can copy that local drive path. Then see here copy path I will show you. Let me open notepad and show you difference between copy path and copy local location. So local path, if I copy, you see here local path means the where this file is been saved. So it is taking me the my local path where I can directly open it. So this is the my SharePoint where this particular file is been saved. So that is the difference between local path and copy path. Next we have a option called open file location. So why do we use and where do we use this one? For example, you are working on a various workbooks and various files which you have opened it. So sometimes you don't know from which folder, you don't remember actually from which folder this file is been opened. Now you wanted to get into that particular folder and you don't know where this file is exactly saved. You would like to get into the folder where this particular file has been saved. In that case, if you just click on open a file folder, so that will take you to the file location where this particular file has been saved. So these are the some of the options which we have under info button. Then let us get into the protect workbook under info button. So protect workbook, so where do we use and what is the point of using protect workbook options? So here itself says, right, control what types of changes people can make to this workbook. So using the protect workbook, so you can control other user or you yourself would like to restrict accesses or editing or deleting all those you can do it using protect workbook options. So whatever the options which you use here, these are limited to the that particular workbook only. Now let us see, we have a always open read only option. So if I select this, what will happen? So I would like to show you. So let me select some template. So let me select some wedding expense template. Let me save this one somewhere. I wanted to show you how that read only option works. So let me save it here. Let me make this file as a read only. So always read only, what happens when I select always read only, to prevent accidental changes, this workbook has been set to open as read only. See, whenever you open this workbook, it will show you as a read only. So let me close this and reopen. If I reopen, it will show me as a read only. You see here, read only. But however, you can go ahead and edit, make changes. There is an option called edit anyway, right? If you click on it, you can go ahead and edit. So for example, I would like to put this 40,000. You can go ahead and make whatever the changes you want. So once you click edit anyway and make changes, this option will disappear. Now how do we remove that read only? Just click on it, that option will be removed. Now let me save it and close it and reopen. So this time it will not show as read only. See, this is how my Excel got opened. I don't see read only option now. Similar way, we have other options, that is mark as final. So mark as final means if I mark this file as a final, this workbook, it's showing me as a marked as final. So where do we use and why do we use this one? For example, in a team, we have an analyst who can prepare the initial data, gather the initial data and update everything. Then senior will review it, then it will go for manager sign off. Once manager or whoever it is reviews, they can mark it as a final. So once you mark it as a final, then you will not be allowed to make any changes. Here for example, I would like to put some number, so it is not allowing me to make any changes. If you see here, I can't even delete this one. I can't make any changes or enter any data in the workbook or worksheets. You can still go ahead and edit, but you'll have to click edit anyway. Once you click edit anyway, that marked as a final option will be disabled. Next option which we have, encrypt with password. So when you are sharing some confidential data in an MS Excel, you would like to protect with password or encrypt with password for a particular workbook to open that. So we can do that. So I'll show you how you can encrypt with password. So let me show you. I will give some password as 123 123. So once I give password, let me save my workbook. To save workbook, Control plus S is the shortcut key to save the workbook. Let me close it and come back and reopen. So it will ask me for password to open this file or workbook. So unless I give password, I can't see what is there inside. So this one, where do you see? Usually whenever you receive any bank statement or credit card bill, that will be protected with password, right, to avoid unauthorized users to open that statement. So similar way, in case if you are sharing some confidential data, sometimes your emails may hacked, right? So you are not allowing unauthorized people to open and see what is there inside. So once you protect with password, so they'll have to give password to open the file and see what is there inside. Next option which we have is protect current sheet. This I will explain you under view button, and we also have protect workbook structure. This also I will explain you under view button. Next option we have restrict access. If you wanted to grant access to the people while removing their ability to edit, copy or print, yes, you can restrict access to the people. If you wanted to add digital signature, so where do we add digital signature and why do we add it? So if you wanted to sign something digitally in the MS Excel, we should have DSC being added, so directly you can digitally sign the data. So where do people use this oftenly? So whenever you wanted to sign off your financial reports or quarterly results or balance sheet, you can have a digital signature and sign them online. Next option, these are the some of the options which are available under info tab. Next option which we have is save. So what is the difference between save and save as? Save means it will overwrite, and save as means if you would like to create a if you would like to save this workbook as a different location or a different version, you can use the save as. So whenever you do a save as, it will not overwrite the existing workbook. Next we have print option. So print option I will cover under page layout. Then share, which we already cover. In case if you wanted to share this particular workbook with specified people, you can directly select here and share it. And we have another option also called copy link. If you would like to copy link, so you can copy link, and same thing, you can share it with people whom you want. If you see here, my file link has been copied here. Next option which we have, export. If you wanted to export this particular workbook data to the PDF, we can export it. If you wanted to export this particular workbook to the XPS document, yes, we can export. And in case if you wanted to change the file type, so you can export and change the file type. So what is the use of changing the file type? Here, when you have a large data in MS Excel, so there are many ERPs like Oracle, SAP, they have been integrated with CSV files or text files. So what is the point of exporting to the CSV or TXT files and importing to the ERP tools? So here, when you have a large data in MS Excel, you can have various formats, colors, borders, formulas and functions as well. But when you export to the text or CSV format, so you will just get text only. You will not have any formulas or borders. The file size will reduce, and when you have a formulas, when you are trying to import data, system doesn't understand the formulas. So for that purpose, we can change the file type as other type, that is CSV or text format. We can save it, and they are easily integrated with ERPs to export and import data. And for example, you have done some work in MS Excel, you wanted to share with someone who doesn't have latest version, you can save it as a older version and share it with them. And we have various other options as well. So other options, macro enabled workbook. For example, if you wanted to create some macro within the workbook, always you should save it as a macro enabled workbook. We have binary workbook as well. So binary XLS will be, this is optimized for fast loading and saving. So you can also use the by default extension, we have it as XLSX. So you can also use the XLSB. It says it will be a fast loading and saving. Next, publish. If you wanted to publish your data from Excel to Power BI, you can do that. Next, close means this file will be closed. And account, so under account you just see which is the version you are using and what are all the tools you have access in MS Office suite. In case if you wanted to change the office theme and office background, yes, you can change it. If you'd like to change the office theme to the dark gray, colorful, or full white, or full black, so this is where you can change the theme. Then we have connected servers services, where I have connected to the cloud location, OneDrive and SharePoint. Next, let us get into the more options. Under more options, there is an option called feedback. So we have this option in the ribbon buttons as well. So under feedback, so what is the point in giving feedback? So this feedback will be going to Microsoft. If you like some features or options which are available in the MS Excel, you can give send a smile and send a frown if you don't like something, and you can also suggest a options to be improved. So do you have any idea for a new feature or an improvement? You can also give a suggestion to the Microsoft, so where they can include all your suggestions or enhancements in the upcoming version, in the latest version. So here if you see version to version, we will have a latest features, right? So how do they come up with? So they collect all the suggestions from the users from universe. They collect all suggestions and they will try to include or enhance in the upcoming version. Then we have a more option. Under more there is a Excel options, select options. So here we have various options. We'll go one by one. So we have various settings in Excel options. So whatever the settings or changes you do it here, these are applicable only to your system. So we have general settings. We see here again we mainly go with the default settings only unless it's required to change. So what is the default font you wanted to set for your workbook? Yes, you can change the default font. So there are some companies will have their own font. They can select it, or if you wanted to set a default font where across your company people would like to use, you can set up that. And what is the font size default whenever you open a workbook and you want to create font size? Yes, you can use that. And if what is the view of the new sheet, however you want, page break view, page layout view, you can select the way how you want. By default we'll have a normal view. And number of sheets, so whenever you create a new workbook, how many sheets you want to create. So by default we'll have a 3. In case if you want 5 sheets, you can have it. Let me show you. Whenever I create a how to create a new workbook, Control plus N is the shortcut key. See, now my 5 sheets has been created in a workbook. So this number you can change it. In case if you want to have only one, you can select one. So default will have a 3 sheets. Let me make it to default 3 sheets. And background I showed you already. If you wanted to change your office theme or office background based on your requirement, or if you are comfortable with dark or black, you can change it. So next we have formulas. So under formulas, here if you see we have various options, but if you wanted to highlight any errors, you can choose the color which you want. And formula autocomplete, so whenever you create a formula, that should calculate automatically. So by default we have automatically. If you want to have it manually also, we can select it. So these are various options which we have available, but we don't make any changes to the default settings usually unless it's required. So working with formulas, error checking, okay, error checking rules, all those you can, if you want, you can check and uncheck, so based on your requirement. And we have other option called data. Here nothing much to do with data from our end. Yes, there can be changes if you wanted to integrate this particular workbook or your Excel with various data science tools like Access, Web, Text, SQL Server, all those you can make necessary changes. Next we have option called proofing. So proofing, if you wanted to add any words, like let me show you, we have a proofing, right, autocorrect proofing. For example, if I type SR, I want Surinder Reddy, so let me delete it. I have already added, so it is appearing. Now in MS Excel, whenever you type a SR, you want that to be replaced with Surendra Reddy. So what is the point of creating a autocorrect? So for example, you are using some repetitively some words which are lengthy words. So let us take Bangalore International Airport. So I'll say add a word BIA, then I'll put Bangalore International Airport here and I will add it. So since I have already, okay, let me delete it and do it so you will understand. So I'll put BIA to be replaced with Bangalore International Airport. There is an option called add, so I am adding this word BIA, give OK, give OK. So if I wanted to type every time Bangalore International Airport, it takes time, right? So if I have it added autocorrect, if I just click on BIA, that my entire word will pick up. So this one you can add your company names and company address, etc. So whenever you wanted to type repetitive words, you can create a shortcut key that is find and replace, autocorrect option, so you can save some time typing lengthy words. Then we have save options. So by default, which format you wanted to save your workbook, then auto recover option is there. Every 10 minutes you want to auto recover, you can change this one. See, where do we use auto recover? In case your system closes accidentally or your system shut down accidentally, you do not want to lose data, right? The whatever the workings you do. So Excel will automatically take a backup every 10 minutes once. Then where do you want to save these auto recovery files? If you want, you can change this path. You can customize based on your requirement. And default file location. So where do you want to save the default file location? Yes, you can change this. And if you want to, if you are using SharePoint or Common Drive, you can give that location here. So every time all your workbooks by default will be saved in that particular location. Then we have language options. So if you wanted to add any other language, you can add it. So I have Danish. Okay, if you wanted to set here default or preference language, you can set here. I have set match Microsoft Windows, match Microsoft Windows English as a my preferred language. So here we have various languages as well. Proofing installed. If you wanted to add any language, other languages like local language or any other language, so let me select Hindi, right? Hindi. So you can add a language called Hindi. So you can type it everything in Hindi and start using. So at least in India, uh, we don't use local language mostly while working on MS Excel. Whereas in Chinese and French, Italy, those people they prefer to use their country or their local language, so they use all these options. Next, accessibility, nothing much to do accessibility, and we have advanced features. So under advanced features, we will cover what are all the options available. So usually when you are in Excel, if you click on enter, that will go to the down cell, right? Instead of down, if you click on enter, if you wanted to go to the right cell or up cell or down cell, you can change this. So let me select the right cell and give OK. If I enter some data here, if I just click on enter, now it is taking me to the right cell. Earlier it was going to the down cell. Okay, that option if you want you can change it based on kind of data you deal and kind of data you enter. If you want right, up, down, left, all those options which we have available, and automatically insert a decimal point. If you want to insert a decimal point, you can change it. So where you want to have a decimal points, which place you want, this one let me uncheck. And you have various other options which we usually don't use it. If you want, you can change all these. See, these are the settings which we have universally. Let us take, you have a grid lines, right? So what do we call grid lines? If you see, that is Excel columns and rows, they're actually grid lines. If you wanted to change the color of the grid lines, you can change it. Next option, customize ribbon. So before getting to the customize ribbon buttons, I will show you a quick access toolbar. So quick access toolbar, this name itself says quickly accessible, right? If you wanted to create quickly accessible commands, so you can add it here. Now I don't have anything under quick access toolbar. Let me select copy and let me select save. These are the buttons which I would be using very oftenly or repetitively. I would like to have them in the my left top corner so I can quickly access them. I'll show you. If you give OK, see, whatever the command you want to add it to the quick access toolbar, you can select all commands and you can add to that. Give OK. Now see here, there is a copy and save button came here. OK, so you can quickly access these commands. Now, how do we remove quick access toolbar and how can we customize based on your requirement? Same place here, go here, quick access toolbar, select all the commands. Whichever the command you want to add, you can add it. If you wanted to remove, you can just select here remove option. So these commands you can add it and remove it to the quick access toolbar. Let's give OK. My save button has been removed and calculate has been added. Similar way, so here we call these as a ribbon buttons, home, insert, page layout, right? So we can also create our own ribbon buttons. So why do you have to create own ribbon buttons? So let me go to the customize ribbon button. For example, you are using few commands from various ribbon buttons. You would like to have all those commands in one tab, or based on your requirement, you can create a customized ribbon button. I'll show you how you can create. For example, so this is called home ribbon button. Under home ribbon button, we call this as a groups. So if you see here, clipboard is group, font is group, alignment is group. So if you wanted to have groups, yes, you can create a groups in the ribbon button. So let me take under home button, I would like to create a new group. So I will say group, let me rename it. I will put Surendra. I can select any symbol as well if I want. So let me select this and I can add any command which I would like to have under home ribbon button under group. So let me add some buttons randomly and I will show you how that appears. Like you see here under home button there is a Surendra group has been created and I have added two commands. So any command you can add which you would like to have it. So sometimes you will come across your neighbor will have some commands in the particular ribbon and you don't see them. So how do you do? Go to the file option, there is a Excel options, you select here customize ribbon button. Under that button you can select all the commands and you can search for the command which you would like to add it, you can add it. Then how do we remove group? Just click on remove. Similar way, this is how to create group within the ribbon. Now I would like to create new tab itself. Let me click on new tab. So rename it Surendra and within that I would like to have a multiple groups. So let me create three groups. So I will say 1 2 3. I'll say ABC. I'll rename it to XYG. Now for each and every group you can add some commands. Okay, so how do we add? Select here all commands which are available under MS Excel, you can select, for example, I would like to go to save. Just click on S, that will take you which are all the options starting from S. I will add some commands randomly for each and every group, so I can show you how it looks or works. So XYZ, select data option, select all option. Okay, so I have selected two commands under each group. If I give OK, you see here there is a Surendra ribbon button has been created, and we have 1 2 3 ABC XYZ groups have been created. Okay, under that whatever the commands I have added, they are displaying here. Now how do we remove that? Go here, go to the Excel options, just select it, remove it. That will be removed. These are the some Excel options which are available and which are useful to use it. Next video we are going to cover which are all the commands available under home ribbon button one by one along with sample data. Thank you.